Staying with Punjab, there could be a fresh trouble for Punjab Congress Chief Navjot Singh Sidhu, as the Supreme Court will be hearing a review petition today in a road rage case that involved him. And this one dates back to 1988. Now, in this case, a Patiala resident, Gurnam Singh, had died. The Supreme Court will hear the review plea related to this. In fact, in its own earlier verdict of 2018, it had said that, in fact, it had set aside the 3-year jail term for Navjot Singh Sidhu, and now the Supreme Court is all set to hear that case again. Navjot Singh Sidhu was let off with just 1,000 rupees fine in this particular case. So this is a 1988 case. It's back to biting Navjot Singh Sidhu. This is right ahead of the Punjab polls. Remember, we are talking about the Punjab Congress chief here. And now the Supreme Court will be hearing a review petition in this road rage case that involves Sidhu, and it dates back to 1988. My colleague Meenakshi Bhanja joins me on the phone line. Meenakshi, a 1988 case, back to biting Navjot Singh Sidhu. We have to wait and watch what really comes out of the court. But interesting thing to note here is all this is happening right before the polls in Punjab.
Well, absolutely, Griha. That's the pertinent point here, the timing of the matter. And also hugely interesting is the fact that remember, the Supreme Court had, permitted this review for a open court hearing in September 2018 after having reconsidered the modification application or the review that was filed by the aggrieved family members of the deceased person who had died in this particular incident. And it was in May that the Supreme Court, May of 2018, the Supreme Court had stepped in and it had set aside the earlier order of the Punjab and Haryana High Court in this particular issue. And interestingly, back when the Supreme Court had intervened and set aside that order, it was Mukul Rohtagi, former Attorney General, and also Mr. Harish Salve, who had argued the case and cause for Navjot Singh Sidhu before the Supreme Court. So it is a turn of events now. He is no longer with the BJP, of course. He is now a Congress leader. So how things really go, it will be hugely interesting to watch. What perspective or view does the Supreme Court take on this issue? Because remember, just a couple of days back, it was Honorable Chief Justice of India in a disparate matter who had made an observation to Punjab Government Council, Mr. P. Chidambaram, about how the actions of Punjab government should not seem, in another disparate matter, should not seem to come off in such a way as to, smack of political vendetta or witch hunt. So these are observations made by a disparate CJI-led bench of the Supreme Court about the timing of action of Punjab government in a disparate matter. However, coming back to this case, like you rightly mentioned, the timing part is hugely interesting, and that is what will make this matter going forward also hugely interesting when it is taken up by a bench composition led by Honorable Justice Sanjay Kishan Kaul, comprising Honorable Justice Khanvilkar. Because remember, the original judgment also had Honorable Justice Sanjay Kishan Kaul along with Justice Chalameshwar as a composition. Subsequent to that, Justice Chalameshwar has retired from the Supreme Court, but Justice Sanjay Kishan Kaul is the continuing factor who will continue in the another bench composition. This time it will have Justice Khanvilkar. So what view does the bench take this time around? What arguments are advanced? Who are the counsels who will make any representation for Navjot Singh Sidhu? Those are critical points, Gaya will be tracking very closely when the matter is taken up at 3:30 this afternoon.
Right, Meenakshi, thank you so much for that comprehensive detail in this particular case.